The Handmade 160 is constructed of heat-tempered 1045 steel. It has a cosmetic hamon. The Nagasa is 27 and 3/4 inches long, and the sword weighs 2.1 pounds.
It's my very first sword. I paid about $200. The sword is very light. Diagonal cuts, it cut well. It cuts well. It's well balanced. Only negative is that because it is light, it does tend to bend. I used it for about 4 hours, and afterwards I found that it was bent.
Before cutting with it, I just noticed it handled well. I mean, whatever that means. This is just a general impression, but probably means it's the weight and balance felt good in the hand. And cutting wasn't particularly strenuous on the joints. My overall impression was positive. I felt like it's a good sword. I would not be displeased if I owned one myself.
Is it a win?
I was very impressed with that sword. It was light, it was agile. It cut very nicely. I had no trouble cutting. I think when I did cutting set G number 5, it was technique, but the sword, if I had proper technique, the sword would have cut no problem. So it was a sword that I would definitely recommend.
The handmade sword actually impressed me a lot with its cutting edge. I was able to make a number of successful cuts. I had a friend who had a handmade sword, and during an unsuccessful cut, that sword took a bend, and that bend just kept on getting worse and worse and worse. And I've heard that happen with at least one other handmade sword. Particularly one of the horizontal cuts. I cut completely through it. And I think so far of the swords that we've tested, this is the only sword that I was actually able to do that. Another cut that stuck in my mind is one of the uppercuts, when I went from down up like that. And with that cut, I actually cut through, and the target kind of stayed together for a second and then plopped to the floor, which I thought was kind of cool. Sword actually cut quite nicely, so I was impressed.